when you are going to be taking care of an animal, for example, in this case, it is Timmy or Salvi or Tortoises, is you need a container to put them in. For those two guys, this one's a great one. It's pretty big, but it doesn't need a lid. They can't climb the wall. So we're going to go ahead and put some paper towels in the bottom because Timmy and Salvi are notorious for pooping or peeing they get a little stressed being out of their container. So we're going to put some paper towels in here because it's a lot easier to clean up poop if it's not on the bottom. Now when we pick up a tortoise, think cheeseburger. 2 hands, just like you would pick up a cheeseburger getting ready to eat it. I'm going to go ahead and grab Salvi on the sides. So 2 hands, like a cheeseburger. Basically, he's super Salvi flying. We're going to go ahead and put him in there. This is also going to give us an opportunity to take a look at him. We want to make sure we take a look at his eyes. Are they both open, or does he have an eye infection and one's pussy or closed? Take a look at his nostrils and his mouth. Is there anything foaming? Is he blowing bubbles, which might be an indication of pneumonia? Take a look at his shell, even his little legs. Kind of just get an idea. Does he look healthy, and is he out of his shell, or is he looking like he's sleeping even though we've been messing with him? And FYI, just a little thing, he likes his little shell scratched in the back. Sometimes he'll get up and he'll start moving his little back, and he enjoys that. But it's one way to go ahead and do it. So we've got Salvi. The other things that were in his container is we have a water bowl. We have a food bowl this is basically compressed grass because he is a grassland tortoise. And then we have a rock. Now the reason why we use a rock for his food is because he has a beak. He's basically related to a bird, right? Tortoises and reptiles are related. So he has a beak, and the beak sometimes needs to be trimmed. We'll actually take like fingernail clippers and trim his beak. He doesn't like it. We'd rather have him trim his beak like he does in the wild. And how do they trim their beak? How do they trim their beak in the wild? Is they go ahead and eat things off stones and rocks, and they scrape it. So this is an old salad. Would I want to eat it? No. It's crispy, it's crunchy, it's not exactly really appetizing. Now we don't want to put anything down the sink drain, so find a trash can, get off as much as you can, and then find a sink. We're going to go ahead and make sure we kill any microbes on there. That's with the disinfectant. And then every sink should have a scrubby brush. So we're going to go ahead and give it a good scrub. If something doesn't come off, sometimes the other side works. And then we're going to rinse it. We don't want them to taste the disinfectant, so we make sure we get it rinsed really good. Now, if by chance there's any lettuce leaves in there, or carrot peelings, use a paper towel, clean it out. Don't leave it in the bottom of the sink for somebody else to clean out. So that's the tortoise's food bowl. So the next thing we need, we might use some sort of greens. We could use, here's some collard greens, mustard greens, kale. We use all sorts, romaine. So you're going to cut, and not really small, because they can go ahead and chew up. And if there's more than one type of green, you may want to do a little diversity. There's a little bit of collard greens, and here's a little bit of dandelion greens. And basically we want about a handful. So there's about a handful of greens. And we usually make a salad a day, so except on the weekends, so they always have quite a bit. So we've got our greens. Remember, no fruit for tortoises. So We look around for another vegetable. Hey, here's some carrot. They don't have teeth, they only have a bony plate. So we want to make sure it's small enough. So we might do a little bit of carrot that has some vitamins and minerals in it. And looking around, oh, there's a couple peas. We'll throw a couple peas on there. And then we can go ahead and do tomatoes. Tomatoes, though, if you don't cut them in half, they tend to roll around, and the poor little tortoise keeps following them and can't quite get them. So if we go ahead and cut them, 1 or 2 tomatoes are going to be sufficient. They're a little bit higher in sugar, but not too bad. Let me see if I can get another one here. Cut that in half. Not that one. So we've got greens, we've got vegetables, and the only type of fruit is actually a tomato. Now, if it's going to be there a little while, notice that last one dried up. We can actually even wet it down just a little bit. That'll keep that salad fresher for a little while. Plus, it's a way to get some more water into our tortoise. Now, again, we don't want our tortoises to have metabolic bone disease, so we need to add a little bit of calcium. It is not a snowstorm. It is a dusting. Just enough. There it is. I can see actual calcium on there, so that's going to be sufficient. So that is what a tortoise salad looks like. Now, the other part of that is we do have a food dish. If by chance there was any type he peed or poop in here, don't throw these away. Okay, we'll go ahead and pour them out, clean the dish, and then he should have about 12 of these in here or so. And this will also be in the back room. It's basically tortoise, grassland tortoise food. It's got all different types of different greens, dandelion greens, etc. in there. So, and then water. Oh, big poop. No wonder we had Salvi. You just showed us why we needed paper towels. It's so much easier to clean out if there is a paper towel in there than if there wasn't. So that's true for pretty much all the animals, guys, that you get out. If you put a paper towel in there, it's going to be a lot easier if they go ahead and have a little accident. All right, so we've got our salad. We're going to go ahead and put that in there. We don't want to put it under the light. The light will dry it out, so we're going to put it farther away from the light. And then water. Water bowls will grow what's called a biofilm. They'll actually be a bacteria layer that ends up on the bottom of the bowl. In fact, maybe you notice it with your dog or cat bowls. It gets slimy. So to get rid of that biofilm, we're going to spray it with disinfectant. Again, every sink should have a scrubby brush. We're going to scrub. And if we see anything that looks suspect, brown or white, we're going to scrub that off. And then we're going to make sure it's completely rinsed off so that they don't taste the disinfectant. And the water that goes in shouldn't be, you could say, not freezing cold and not hot. In fact, you know what? I'd probably spill it going all the way across there. So I'm going to clean it, rinse it, and then back here, there is a cup. There's always a cup. It's so much easier to fill the cup and then fill the water. That way we don't get it all over the floor. So again, I call it like room temperature water. So we've got water, we've got food, then of course we've put his little tortoise chunks in his food bowl, about a dozen of them. We're going to put that so he can go ahead and eat that if he runs out of his lettuce salad. And then last but not least, if you have over 5 minutes left, you should probably go out to the hallway I know, he pooped again. Go out to the hallway and give Salvi some exercise. He likes to walk around. In fact, sometimes he'll walk around in here. But if you have more than 5 minutes left when we're doing animal care, go ahead and handle your animal. Take them out in the hallway. Reptiles go out in the hallway. Mammals, birds stay in here. And get used to them. Take a look at them. Again, make sure you take a look. Look at everything and make sure it all looks good. These things are notorious for getting pneumonia. So you want to even listen to his breathing. Make sure it's not crackling or bubbly. So 2 hands, we're going to put him back. What I like to do after I feed an animal is I point him and put him right in front of his food so he knows he's got fresh food. He knows that, hey, this is a great time to eat. It's a fresh salad. All right, so now we're done. Meal cleanup, but if there's stuff that you can go ahead and make that salad station a little more neater before you leave, please do that. And then, oh yeah, there's some more. Now, because he pooped and peed in here, you guessed it, we've got to even sanitize this. So if it's a lot, you might want to take it back to the back floor sink and sanitize it and rinse it out. There wasn't much in here. It was mostly all on the paper towels. So I'm going to sanitize his container. Then I will go back to the back cabinets. There's a cabinet full of tubs. Find a good spot to slide this in. And then you will have a file. You're going to fill out a file about the animal you take care of, and it's going to ask you all sorts of questions. Before you get your points for animal care, either Mia, Mrs. Grant, or myself has to check it. We sign off in that file folder, and then you know you've got your points. But you're not done, because before you leave during animal care, you got to make sure you follow proper hand washing protocol. All right? Ms. Grant, did I forget anything?
Make sure whenever you get everything out of the enclosure, before you put stuff back in, make sure there's any dried food, any poop, anything is cleaned out of the enclosure.
And guys, you can just use a paper towel. You'll see, it's like, oh, there's a little turd log. Pick it up, get it out of there. Spot clean it.